So I want to thank Neolith for inviting me to be part of this great initiative. The goal here today is to talk and connect about the specific industry topics and how COVID-19 is impacting our businesses. I think we've all gone through this crazy turmoil. We want to see how we open the doors and we see what changes are going through the opening of our businesses and also with our clients. That's some of the biggest thing right now is learning how to act with our clients, how to act with our subcontractors, how to act with our suppliers. And this is going to be something that I think as an industry, we can all learn from each other. That's why it's great for all of us to be on here right now and talk about this. As a brief little bio about myself, again, I am Culinary. I am one half of the Kitchen Cousins from HGTV. I've had a couple multiple HGTV shows. I now currently work with the Ellen Digital team. I've had a couple shows with them. Launched yesterday on Ellen Tube. Really excited about it. It's very much what we do now. The whole show kind of takes place during quarantine. So I am designing everything as I am right now, sending materials to my clients, and they have 24 hours to complete. It is a lot of fun. They have 24 hours to complete my design with my co-host Lauren Speed Hamilton, and if they do it, they win $5,000. So not a bad deal.
That's pretty great.
So really, yeah, it's really cool, a lot of fun, but that is kind of what our business is going through now. So I think the first thing is, why don't we go around, introduce ourselves, everyone give a little bio and a little input of who you are, what you do, where you're located. And I'll kick it off. Andreas, why don't you start off first?
It'll be my pleasure, for sure. Well, good morning, guys. Again, thanks for the invite. I'm happy to be here, and it's always awesome to get to meet interesting people like you guys. So a quick background on my career. I started at the University of Miami. I graduated from the School of Architecture, and I started working on designing custom homes in the island of Bahamas and also in Palm Beach. And then I transitioned to interior design. And so far, it's been absolutely amazing. I've been in the business for over 10 years. And then I had the pleasure to join a Nova Studio here in the West Coast in LA. And they have been in the business for 20 years. And we specialize in high-end custom kitchens and bathrooms. Although we dress the whole interior space of a house with home theaters, living spaces, and you name it. We try to facilitate and enhance the lifestyle of every client that we tend to get in touch with. So it's a fascinating career, and I'm always excited to meet new clients, new designers to collaborate. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the past 10 years, designing and having fun.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that. Jeffrey Johnson, why don't you give us a little intro to yourself and your business?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invite. It's been very excited to be on with you guys. And this is my second career. I worked in telecom for the first 19 years, and I did a transition, based on the telecom market crash. So I moved to interior design and been doing it since 2005. I started doing interior design in Dallas, Texas. Worked for an international firm based out of Monterrey, Mexico. So after 2.5 years, we moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where I started my interior design business in 2008. And been doing really well. Most of my projects are residential. Not only do I do residential interior design projects, I also interact with a lot of designers talking about how to grow your business, how to build your business process, the trends, the style spotter for a high point market. So I'm really a big advocate of working with designers, learning from one another and how we can grow our business.
Awesome. All right,
Thanks.
perfect.
Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in and say hello to everybody. Jeffrey, I haven't had an opportunity to meet you, but thank you very much for doing this. And it's great to see Andreas. How are you?
James, good morning. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for doing this, guys. I really appreciate it. I think it's a great cause. And John, thanks, man. Always coming through to help out, man. Always coming through. I really appreciate it. But I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to say hello to everybody and enjoy, have some fun. Thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Stay healthy.
No problem at all.
Stay healthy.
We're happy to see you.
All right, guys. I'll see you soon. I look forward to seeing this when it's done. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye, James.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Jimmy.
See you later, John.
All right. All right. So Jeff, thank you for that brief bio. That's perfect. And I guess Lisa and Heather, whoever wants to kick it off, since the two of you together, I don't know if you want to
take the mic. I'll go.
Take the mic.
So we're Heather and Lisa. We're HW Interiors. We're located in Wellington, Florida, which is a little suburb in Palm Beach County. We're kind of an equestrian enclave, so our town is super busy January through April, and we have a very seasonal population. So we do a lot of new builds and remodels, and we work a lot on supervisory. When our clients leave town, we do a lot of our work when they're gone. But we do all kinds of work from, like I said, new builds and remodels through soft furnishings, window treatments, everything. We haven't slowed down since COVID. We've gotten busier, much busier. We think everybody's sitting in their homes and not using their vacation money, so they think it's time to do some updates. Mm-hmm. But we're super busy. We're a small firm. We run 20 to 30 projects at a time. But we haven't been in business for less than 5 years, but we started slow and picked up steam quickly, and now we're a team of 5, and we love what we do, and we're happy to be here.
Happy to be joining you guys and getting to know everyone.
So thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you. That was great. I just want to say we all want to have our clients leave for months on end to be able to work in their houses when no one's there.
We have the perfect situation. We know that. We know.
We all want that. We definitely want that.
Yes.
But that's great to hear that introduction. And I kind of like, what's great here is we're in all different, since I'm on the East Coast, we have West Coast, we have South. I like to see that we have some variety, and we get kind of I think we can get a good basis of the trends and what's going on in our areas of business. So, why don't I kick this off? And Andreas, I think I'll start with you, just hearing kind of what everybody's been through. I guess the first question I will want to know is, have you guys slowed down or have you gotten busier? And to piggyback off that, how have you changed any of your business currently right now?
Yes, so we were definitely affected by the COVID-19, the whole pandemic situation. And then following to that particular situation, the riots, since we are in the heart of LA. So it was a very drastic change and an interesting experience. We did slow down during the shutdown, but that was only an opportunity for us to even connect even more with our current clients. Due to the fact that we were FaceTiming and using Zoom a lot more, because we still had about 2 construction sites going, one of them in Malibu. So we had constant communication with our current clients. And right before the pandemic, we did sign up on a new project, a multifamily building. So we were lucky enough to have business even before the pandemic. So during the pandemic situation, we had a lot of new ways to communicate within our team at Nova Studio and also with the clientele. And it opened up new ways to bring even new clients. Because now that we're back in business, we are even stronger. We have a lot more ways to expand and to be a little bit more effective, since we were forced to engage on a new way of working within our team as well. So it's been interesting. And, once we got back in business, we're busy right now. We have about 5 projects. And today I have 2 meetings, for instance, and tomorrow we have even more site visits to measure new properties. So again, we're always excited to jump into new experiences and welcome whatever comes in the way.
No, you know what? And very interesting to hear that. And I think all of us, and it's going to be interesting as we go along with this talk to see what others think. But I think we've all kind of adapted. And I think businesses in general have become more efficient just out of a necessity. You've had to learn how to become better because you can't do face-to-face. You're working from home. You're working remotely. Thank God for technology that we live in the age we live in, because you go back to the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, none of this would have been possible. So it would have been a very, I think, different situation that we would have. We didn't have this type of technology that allows us to talk like this, FaceTime, social media. It definitely has helped us get through a very difficult situation.
We definitely took advantage of that technology. It's a great tool.
It is. It is. And I'm just going to speak from my own standpoint. Of course, yes, I have the media and the television shows that I do, but I have a lot of private clients that I work with on the side. And I telling Jeffrey before we were talking about kind of what I've been going through, and I've seen a spike. I've seen people want to do more projects, and it was great to kind of hear Lisa and Heather talk about how they've been busy, because I think people are sitting home saying, "This is it.
This kitchen anymore.
This is what I got."
Yeah,
on,
and God forbid I'm stuck here again for another 6 months. I can't live with this. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm gonna throw this, and Lisa and Heather, I definitely want to hear more about you guys, because it's interesting, because your clientele definitely is like a snowbird clientele. I'm sure you get a lot of Jersey, New York people going down to your area. I'm gonna ask you a question in a little bit, but I want to ask Jeffrey, since Jeffrey was based out of Texas and now he's in California. I know he has a lot of clients in the Texas area. Jeffrey, how have you handled working with your clients from LA, but I know you do have jobs still in the Texas, Dallas area. How are you handling that?
It's all about really communicating to your client to really understand what the business process is, and also to be able to educate the client to look. We're working with our vendors, our showrooms. We're trying to understand what their process is. Are they open? What are they able to do and not do? So it's all about really understanding what each vendor, what their business process is, what their policy is, when are they open, when are they not open. So all those things, like my receiver in Dallas, they were only open 2 days a week. And the worst part is, if you've got something that's about to ship out and they don't arrive on Tuesday and Thursday, what happened? So all the scenarios that you have to be aware of and make sure that everything is fine. But it's all about communication. The client's comfort level of saying, okay, there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. So having that conversation, I think, is really, really important with your clients, your vendors, just really educate. So having said that, it really puts you about your business. What is my business process? I'm spending more time trying to find out what their procedure is so I can get back to my client, So it's been a very interesting conversation going on with that. I had several speaking engagements that have been canceled. But, that's just part of it. We just got to find other ways to reach out to our client. Not about, okay, what can we do for you for project-wise, about how are you doing? What are some of the concerns that you have today? Because you're living in your house pretty much every day full time. Whether you've got family or not. And so it's really trying to understand their environment, their workspace. Because I'll give you an example. Like me and my husband are working from the house. I always work from the house, but he doesn't. And being in LA, we don't have all these large homes, like a lot of people do. So it's a matter of, okay, how do we justify that? How do we make it work? Right now I'm in the guest bedroom while my husband's working in the dining room. So we chose the dining room because we have a great view of the mountain.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose that. We should use the breakfast room as our dining room. So going back to, it's all about getting the client's comfort zone. Explain to them things will be fine. Like one of our projects, the client's like, well, we're not going to get any of the cuts and pieces till mid-July. Why don't we go ahead and move forward with phase 2? We might as well move forward, order more. So for me, nothing has slowed down for me. It's just like everyone else. I think it's just the fact that one is getting the client's comfort zone. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to get better. We just don't know when. So it's just a matter of, okay, let's move forward, whether it's phase 2, phase 3, whatever it is. So I think it's been a really interesting dynamic, not just for a designer, but for your clients, your vendors. Just trying to make sure everyone's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great point. And I've had a lot of those conversations myself with a couple of my private clients. I've had to explain to them before the project started, look, guys, this is going to take me more time because I have to go through a lot more steps to get to the end that I normally would have to, whether it's phone calls, dealing with deliveries that don't get there, dealing with delivery companies that won't go into a house. There's so many of these variables. And on top of it, you have to make sure that your clients are comfortable. So I've had some interesting conversations with them to make sure that they're okay with either me showing up, coming with a subcontractor, making sure that they have the proper safety equipment. There's so much of that has to go into it. And I think, Jeffrey, like you said, the communication aspect is so important. If we do that up front, it allows us to get to the end so much faster. We all know how difficult it is to do a project. We've done how many of them? You have so many different subcontractors, vendors. You have 10, 15, 20 people on one project. Do it during a pandemic, a little crazy.
The good news is, the receiver, the one I used in Dallas, now they're open 5 days a week. Before, they would not even step inside the client's house, period. They should drop it off.
Yep.
So I was not comfortable with that. I held back on that. But the good news is they're open 5 days a week. It's just about educating the clients. You are going to have to wear a mask when I have these guys come in and install all the furniture, accessories, whatever you've got for that particular project.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just get to where I can see if the clients plan to go on a trip. I know we can't go out of the country right now, but anywhere in the U.S., if they plan to travel or whatever, I try to see if I could do it during that time where they're gone.
Yep.
From a comfort level standpoint.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I guess that's a perfect segue into Lisa and Heather and your business, since you do have those snowbirds that leave around this time and come back up. Hearing how busy that you guys have been, that's great to hear. Tell us a little bit about how you guys have maybe ramped things up, got things going, and what have your clients what have they been saying to you during this pandemic? What of their asks? Have they changed? Have they gotten bigger? Where do you see that?
Well, interestingly enough, some of them that would normally have left were stuck here. So some projects that were set to have started in March or April when they would have normally have left got delayed.
Lisa, can you move over? I just want to make sure you're full. There you go.
Is that better?
Hold on. Because when they edit it, I don't want half your face.
What you got?
I don't want half your face in.
We had a little bit of it. This year's obviously been interesting all around because it was a little bit different. But now I think almost everybody's gone. So things are starting to move as normal. But like I said, we really saw no slowdown. If anything, we got busier. We're still turning away calls daily, or our wait list is growing.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We really had just a few projects that were due to start right amidst the pandemic, so they kind of paused. One actually was an orthodontist, so his business was kind of
Shut down.
and now that's started again. So we had a little slowdown.
We're in a very
It's a very odd area.
We're in a bubble because there's a lot of money here that's not, it's
not as
it's
affected.
Not
so
as
they,
affected.
So luckily that hasn't slowed down. We have one project in Puerto Rico, and that we had to wait. We just traveled there.
We traveled there 3 weeks ago. We had to because they had done all the demo and they were holding up. We had to select materials, so we had to go.
So we went. That was an interesting experience, and we saw Puerto Rico is much more careful and cautious, which is great to see. So we felt really safe.
Everywhere we went, including like a store, a restaurant, they took your temperature. A 7 p.m. curfew every night. You had to be in the hotel, locked down by 7 p.m.
before.
Yeah, it's a really interesting experience. But we haven't seen. I mean, construction never slowed down here because it was considered an essential service. So
did you have to stage your subcontractors at any point, or did everyone still go in the same time?
Masks?
Just masks, okay.
Masks, yep. But for the most part, I have to be honest and say no. I mean, really, there was not much of a change.
And the properties were somewhat large too, so they were naturally spread out, but they did have masks on, and we carried our alcohol bottles, and we, just tried to they'd set up a station, a wash station, a sanitizing station.
Social distance on site, your client's 6 feet away, we're 6 feet away, the contractor 6 feet away, but we've tried to pretty much run business as usual. When everything first hit, we shut down the office for about a month and we worked remotely from home, and we got really good at Zoom calls with our team. And like you were saying about, preparation and sort of the management aspect of the project, I do feel like our preparation got better. It got better. And what the end product we were giving to our contractors, like our bid product got better, because I felt like the selections and the drawings, we fine tuned everything, and the schedules and everything was just tighter. So I feel like the bid
process.
I do feel like we tightened up our process because we didn't really have much else to do for a little while. So it was kind of like some decisions that would have been made on site later on, we kind of made earlier in the process now, and sort of provided it in a schedule much earlier than maybe we would have before. So I do feel like we tightened up the ship a little bit as we went, but we've been fortunate. I have to say, we've been fortunate, knock on wood.
Well, and it's interesting to hear all that. And I guess, with people not being able to travel, you can't go on those vacations. I think a lot of people do have those home projects. They would rather reinvest in their home because they know it's a safe place to kind of put money. Maybe they don't feel comfortable going in the stock market right now. I think there's a kind of a lot of factors in that way. And Andrea, since you guys do a lot of high-end kitchens and bathrooms, have you seen any of your clientele ask for any different materials, as far as maybe things that, again, like I love a natural stone, but natural stones are porous. Maybe they want things that are easier to clean. I'm just curious if you've seen people ask about those type of products, because I think that's something that's going on now. You've had people that are hypochondriacs. Well, now we have even more because of this. You have a lot of people that are always going to be scared and cleaning, and they want to make sure that their house is easy to clean.
Yes, for sure. So the natural stones, yes, they switch more into the man-made stones for the countertops, because we do a lot of islands within the kitchen space, and the man-made stones are the easiest way to clean. I tell all my clients, all you need is soap and water. So it's pretty much the easiest way to go, and they have been focusing onto that particular aspect throughout the whole.
So you've had clients specifically ask you, hey, look, we're getting ready for the remodel. Can you suggest materials that are easier to clean, that are hypoallergenic, things that where germs will not be able to kind of seep into. It's things that I can clean right off the surface.
So that involves the countertops as the man-made stone, and also for the cabinets that we offer that are water resistant. People don't want to deal with any like cracks or any water damage structures within the kitchen space or even the cabinets. I mean, in the bathrooms, because they're always exposed to water. So they've been asking more for the water resistant finishes. And that's what we have been promoting a lot more than before. And even the whole process of communicating with the clients has been a lot better for sure because of technology and also the tools that we use for the slideshow presentations and the 3D models that we design here at Nova Studio. So it's easier for them to see exactly what materials we are using and how we tend to improve their existing conditions. So yeah, their mindset has been transitioning into a more efficient design, smarter methods to design kitchens and bathrooms so they can function a lot more efficient, pretty much.
Well, that's very interesting, and Jeffrey or Lisa and Heather, if you guys want to answer as well, do you guys in your clients reaching out to you, either current clients maybe had a project going on, or new clients, do you see them adapting and changing their design plan, saying, "Hey, I am going to be home more. I either want more of an office space or a place to do at-home schooling." Just they realize they are going to be home more, and if God forbid the pandemic comes back again or another breakout happens, they're going to be home. They're going to say, "Hey, my space has to be able to function, so I need XYZ for me to be able to really function inside my space." Are you guys seeing your clients talk about that now and wanting to change?
Well, like my client, I have one client that I did a penthouse in Dallas. I mean, she was a road warrior. I mean, on the road all the time. She was thinking if she could buy banks and all that. And now, knowing her, she's very active. And now she's stuck in a penthouse where you can use the swimming pool, you can use the gym. So it's been quite interesting, and instead of having to live by herself in the penthouse, she chose to fly her daughter and her grandchild to be, just from a company standpoint. So
absolutely, a lot of people did that. Yes,
it's not going to be a temporary situation where, they're going to have to both work. Her daughter can work in the family area or the dining area, with a great view of downtown Dallas and two of our famous bridges that we have at Dallas. So it's really understanding. They'll call if they look. We're home 24/7. How can we justify temporarily where we can work, and because none of us want to work in the bedroom 8 hours a day. I mean, that's the worst thing. But still, be conscious of that your space looks beautiful, and you're in,
absolutely,
24/7. So it's really interesting conversation, understanding. They go, they start to notice more things or their surroundings. They're not, instead of just coming home from work and,
yeah, you're
cook. Now they're sitting, they're seeing, so we may add a few furniture pieces or new artwork just to really help them to get through those.
You know what? That's a great point. It's a great point, and I think all of you probably would agree with this. Is we always say you are what your environment is. When people used to go into their offices, you saw, of course, office spaces turn from not office spaces, not these dim light, kind of you sit at your desk and you're by yourself. They became more open concept. You're with everybody. It looks, it's all these new tech companies. It looks more like a cool house than even an office space, right? It's like, oh, I want to hang out there. Mm-hmm. Now you flip it, and these people, Jeff, just like you said, you're home all day.
Right.
If you don't have a cool space,
right,
it's no longer, I don't want my sister and brother to make fun of me or my family members or my friends. I need to have a great space that I'm comfortable in, because if not, my creativity is not going to come out. And I think a lot of people are really feeling that way.
Yeah. Another example, like another project at Dallas I have, she's got 2 kids, and they've got like a little bridge over from one bedroom to their game room, where it's kind of open, but it's got two desks. She liked to keep an eye on, make sure they're doing their homework, but now she's beginning to realize, they need privacy because we're together 24/7.
Yeah.
Put them in their room.
We're going to cover it up. Just
Great.
respect. Because one of them's going to be a teenager, the other one,
Yeah.
12. You're talking about a brother or sister. So it's really interesting what you could do to make things better. And believe it or not, a lot of corporate today, because my husband is the executive, is they're seeing that, what, all of our employees can work from the house. It's
Home.
I have the overhead.
They're productive, and it's really working. In fact, one of them is going to move to Oregon because it's cheaper to live there versus LA. They're seeing the back that, make your work. So
it's a big difference for sure.
We're seeing a ton of kitchen inquiries, kitchen remodels, and
Gyms, a lot of home
additions.
gyms.
But one of the things I will say personally, I have 4 kids and Heather has 3.
Oh my God!
One of the things
God bless you. I have two. I have 2 girls, and 2's enough in our family. It's
7
easy time.
together and
7
3
kids.
dogs.
Yeah.
Woo,
But
baby.
one of the things that I noticed at the beginning of the pandemic when I was home was that I never left the kitchen. So it was like when all the kids are home, it's like, what's for lunch? What's for snack? What's for dinner? And I felt like I never left. So when our clients started inquiring,
It made sense.
it makes sense. Like
that
the
and home
kitchen.
gyms, because I think a lot of people, their workout's super important, and all of a sudden you can't go to the gym and work out. And if you don't live in great weather, or if it's rainy, the home gym became important.
Yep.
So we've done a lot of
Absolutely.
Yep. So
No, it's so interesting to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, here too, like people are only here 3 or 4 months. So a lot of people didn't necessarily put the money into their kitchen because they're only here a few months a year.
And when they're here, they're strictly here for dressage, show jumping, polo. I mean, it's very equestrian. So they're here and they're busy. They're at the showgrounds all day. They're at the fields.
They eat out every night.
But all of a sudden, it's
restaurants
easy to ignore.
were closed and they're home. So we got a lot
around.
of kitchen remodels going on right now.
Yeah. People that never cooked before are all of a sudden having to cook, and they're like, "Oh my word, this is."
They're now cooking. They're forced to cook.
Yeah.
Well, and Andreas, I think hearing that, being a kitchen and bath showroom, do you think, of course, like you said, the pandemic definitely slowed things down for you. Now that you're coming back online, do you think going into Q3, Q4, you're going to see this kind of fast upward trend?
100%. No, we saw it already. I mean, once we opened up the showroom again, we had the previous clients that backed up from the pandemic. They're coming back to us, and they're now requesting to have even, for instance, the tall pantry units to be not only bigger, but a lot more accessible to smarter ways to store their foods. So we have a lot of cool features or mechanisms with pull-up trays that will facilitate the way you handle the whole eating experience. So they're definitely coming back. We're picking up even faster than we thought, because I thought it was going to be even slower, but it's the complete opposite. It's picking up super fast. So
there's going to be, maybe you're going to do specific toilet paper towers.
That'll be, that's true. That's true. It's so interesting.
It's all about the toilet paper tower.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we tend to be very detail oriented, and we literally analyze every inch of the bathroom and the kitchen space to store toilet paper and paper towels. I had my client just a few days ago over the showroom, and we were talking about the paper towels because they're thinking about it with, it's more important. It's becoming a lot more relevant than before. So it's interesting and funny at the same time.
Well, especially here too in Florida, we're worried now because we're going into hurricane season.
Oh, that's right.
Shortage of toilet paper and paper towels from the pandemic
and water.
And now we finally have that stuff again. And now we're going into hurricane season where we're going to have a shortage.
Right. Yeah. The additional storage has been definitely something that has been a lot more requested than before.
I believe
for
it.
all these reasons. So it's just fascinating and weird at the same time to see drastic changes based on these type of events. But that's why we're designers. We're open-minded. We
We
brainstorm
are.
to
That's very
develop new
true.
ideas.
Yes, we can adapt.
Right.
You're absolutely correct.
Yes.
Is like several of my cousins, they're teachers. I have a sister-in-law that lives in Gulfstream, Florida, which is out of Palm Springs Beach. I'm sorry. It's interesting from a public school standpoint how they're educating their kids online and what they, because wealthy kids, they can afford anything, but you also have to look at kids that don't have internet. So it's just been interesting listening to. I have a cousin in South Lake, which is a suburb of Dallas. Just hearing from different teachers. So I think that's a great benefit to learn from them as well, to be able to educate your clients for your any future projects, because I think it's going to be more prevalent that we're going to do more online, whatever it is. They were all
Agreed.
very comfortable sitting in front of the camera, because not very many people like to be in front of the camera and talk, but we've got that comfort level. It's becoming a natural thing now for all of us. So it's been really interesting to learn from others outside of our industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in general, even though, of course, we've seen the pandemic slow in certain areas, and now it's spiking in other areas of the country. I know it's kind of this roller coaster that I think is going to be this way until, of course, a vaccine finally officially comes out, hopefully in October, November-ish. But I think this has really kind of changed us for a very long time, because I think people for the next, to me, minimum 5 years plus, this is always going to be in the back of their mind, and their house is going to come first. And I think
sure.
even though, all right, yes, restaurants open back up, we can go back out to eat, we can do those things. I think it's just more important. People are going to say, I really have to make sure, God forbid, the next whatever comes, my home is exactly how it needs to be, so I can function, I can properly work, I can do my business, I have my kids, homeschool, whatever it might be. I think which is a good thing for our industry. I think for our industry, we actually are set up above other industries, just because the home, everyone's always said it. Yes, we love our homes. It means a lot, but it's a very different meaning today. And I definitely see that.
I also think because people were on such a rat, they were like in a rat race, they were forced to slow down. They were forced to. And when they did, they reconnected with their families, and they realized this is what it's all about. This is the most important. So creating that sanctuary and that place for your family to have deep, great relationships and memories. I think that's kind of going to be, I know it stuck with me because we were all running in travel sports and 7 kids and traveling. Yeah. And all of a sudden
100%.
And then we were 100%. This is really amazing.
Your home before was a place you came and crashed because you were tired from a long day's work, right? Exactly. Designers like myself, my wife, I'm a very different breed. I never stop. I'm like, she's like, how do you just go? I have a lot of energy. She's like, how do you always, you're always, and when I would come home, I would be doing my own projects. I'd be moving things around, moving flowers, and because I truly love it. It makes me happy doing it. She's like, John, just relax. She's like, watch TV. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I need to, once everything's done, cleaned up, then I feel cool. Which is never. But I think my mentality is actually not that crazy anymore, and more people are saying, no, I need that space. I need it to look a certain way. And for all of us, I'm sure you've had clients kind of talking that way. Now you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, everyone is jumping on that bandwagon.
Yeah, another thing is a family in Pasadena, California, they had a son that was at SMU in Dallas, and then a son working in New York. They have another son. Now you're talking 2 executives, 3 sons living in a nice big home. But it's just the dynamic of you're all trying to work at the home, and you got to be conscious of not speaking too loud because you've got others that are working. They're on a conference call, Zoom call, whatever. So it's really interesting, like she said about, wait, our family is important. You know, we want to be around them more often. And so it's been quite interesting how people are adapting and being conscious of everyone's space because you only can do so much in a house.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
gonna.
that gyms are becoming a lot more popular in the home theaters. They
Yeah.
now seem more like a better investment. And even though, like, I remember I had this client 5 years ago. I helped design a cabin in Wyoming, and we designed a bunker. And this is a property
Interesting.
of 8,000 square feet. And I
Whoa.
always thought, okay, why would my client need a bunker? This is 5 years ago.
They're all in it.
Hey, when you think of those shows that have been on like Discovery and they had people making the bunkers and these
Right.
safe houses, you're like, man, that's a little crazy. I don't know if I would go. Now you're like, got it.
It
Got
makes
it.
sense.
All right. Now
And it was like right, and it was just
Yeah.
like a second
was
property attached to it. It had we designed a gym, a full kitchen. It was like a second house. It was quite
Wow.
amazing. We even had bulletproof windows just in case.
Wow.
Now makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, where is this?
Yeah.
In Wyoming,
You can't find it.
in a small
You
town
can't
of-
find it. It's,
yes.
it's in the middle of Wyoming in a mountain somewhere. Just no one is near them.
I can show you pictures. It looks absolutely amazing. But then back then I was like, wait a minute, this might be a little too much. But
Wow.
again, they now use it to store all the things they needed during the pandemic. So
Wow.
it was useful.
You know,
Absolutely.
like for those that have limited space, we have a personal trainer and we can't go to the private gym anymore. So we have to work at our house, so that really educate us, what do you really need to buy for a home gym, but they don't really want a home gym per se, but they're able to, find a place where they can store stuff. And then when it's time for them to work out with their personal trainer online, this is our first time back at the private gym last Sunday. So it's been kind of interesting. You have your own space in that private gym. You can't go outside that blue tape, with another person. So it's been interesting because this is something that we'll be able to do going forward, all of us, for any clients about home gym, but those that don't really want a home gym because they want to get out of the house, but what is the temporary solution for that?
Right.
Absolutely. Well, you know what, this was absolutely unbelievable. I'm gonna wrap it up here because I actually have another call to go on. I actually have to go on with the NKBA for a panel talk with them now. So it's always fun. We're nonstop with these. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone, to the entire panel for coming on today. This was amazing to hear about all your businesses across the country. We have West Coast, we have the South. Of course, we have my business here on the East Coast. And it's really amazing to hear how all of you have dealt with something that, I mean, I don't know. I hope we never see it again in our lifetime. It definitely has changed us. It's made us better. It's made us react in a stronger way. And I think our businesses are going to be stronger. I think out of something, very bad comes good things. And I think we've all seen that today just by our commentary and our own experiences. So I want to thank all of you for coming on, having this talk with me. I want to thank Neolith for allowing us to put this on and have a talk like this, because it's so important to meet other professionals in other areas of the country and to learn from each other. That's really what this is about, learning and seeing what we're doing and how we can help each other. And I hope if any of you need any help here on the East Coast with something, definitely let me know. I have people that have been reaching out to me from the West Coast, so I definitely want to talk to some of you as well. And I always have people in Florida. There's always Florida people always wanting something done. So thank you very much, everyone. And I hope to talk to you very soon. Stay safe. Let's keep our businesses going strong. And I will talk to everyone soon.
Thank you
you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting everyone.
Bye.